Going to pump the oven up to 400 degrees, and the reason why is we're going to make some eggplant rollatini. And we've had that eggplant here a couple days, so we want to make a little bit of eggplant rollatini. Here we're going to use ricotta cheese, 1 egg, some grated cheese, and some Italian seasonings. We're going to mix all that together, and what we're going to do is we're going to slice the eggplant, salt it a little bit, and we're going to put it on a lightly greased cookie sheet. We're going to get our pesto going, and it's so simple. We want to take some of our basil, bring that over to this pot of simmering water that I have here at the stove. I'm not going to use all this. I want to leave a few leaves. And we're going to blanch this. And we can put the lid there. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the same bowl. And the purpose of blanching the basil is to remove any foreign particles, any debris, to sterilize it a little bit in that hot simmering water. But what it also does is it livens up the basil to then put into our water over here, our shock water. You can see we've got a lot going on in the kitchen today. As always, I like to show you several different recipes at the same time. What I like to do then is shock it in ice cold water to stop the cooking, as well as to show you how beautifully green this basil is. Chopped all the ingredients. We're just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil in. And see the water that was already in. The water that was already in the basil that we blanched gave us that little extra volume of liquid that we needed. And there you have a beautiful looking pesto. So why it's good to do a bunch of different dishes at the same time in your kitchen is because you can cross-utilize different ingredients. In fact, back here we have our leftover fresh made pasta that we made the other day at the Longhots. That's beautiful. We've still got some leftover homemade Italian meatballs, broccoli rabe, and of course our marinara sauce that we made. We have that left over, and that's going to play into this next dish that I'm going to do, which is we're going to get these potatoes out of the way, which is our next dish, which is going to be the eggplant rollatini. We're going to use the same bowl. I just wiped that out. All I had was water in there from the basil. Here's some beautiful eggplant. Leftover garlic. We made our pesto sauce. Look at this. It's beautiful. Okay, so basic eggplant. Let's take the top off of that and put that in our scrap bowl behind us. And at this point, what we want to do is take the eggplant and make just enough of a flat bottom to stand it up. Okay, we don't want this to move and to rock when we're trying to slice our eggplant. So at this point, you want to take a little slice off the side here, and then you're going to hold it tightly, and you're going to slice the eggplant Nice and thin slices. And you can do this slowly, you don't have to do this fast. You want to just make sure you're getting nice, uniform, thin slices. And I should probably put my glasses on to do this so I can see what I'm doing. But feel along it. Feel along the eggplant. Again, that flat bottom is keeping the eggplant from rolling as I'm slicing it. And it depends how many people you're cooking for, how much rollatini you want to make. And you get down to here, don't be dangerous, don't do anything dangerous. If you feel like the eggplant's going to start to slip out of your hand, then stop. And you can use that little bit of eggplant right there for something else. Alright, move your knife out of the way. And the easiest thing to do with that is to put the blade away from where your fingers might end up. Like I said, we went shopping this week at a few different butcher shops, but I'm going to show you what we purchased and why we have the vacuum sealer out. But before we do that, that's about as much olive oil that you want on your baking sheet. The oven has already been preheated at 400 degrees. So what we're going to do now is we're going to lay our eggplant and try to find the nicer pieces first. Get them right on to this pan, like so. If you need to turn them a little bit, then do so. We're going to put a little bit of Molden's smoked sea salt on them, just a little bit. And we're going to get them right into the hot 400 degree oven. Alright, our eggplant, after 3-4 minutes in the oven, is nice and palatable to be able to roll the eggplant rollatini. So at this point, and underneath here you can see I have a casserole dish already. So let's get a little bit of ricotta cheese working in here. And what you can do is you can get all that little bit of whey kind of liquid mixed in so that you don't have a watery feeling. So the ricotta, we're going to take one big heaping spoonful, two, and we're going to kind of eyeball how much we need for these 6 and almost a half pieces of eggplant. Do you think that's enough? I think that's more than enough. We don't want too much of a filling, and if we need more, we can always come back and grab more. So, at this point, just put this away. Add your grated cheeses to that. Go over here and get a little bit of this Italian seasoning. Hey, potatoes, how are you? Italian seasonings that we ground them fine today. I'm using that's a teaspoon worth from my fingers. I'm going to take a little bit of the Maldon smoked sea salt and add that, and then I'm going to add more Pecorino Romano cheese to that. Give a nice grate full of that. And what we're going to need, we'll keep our pesto, keep looking at that beautiful pesto. We're going to grab a fork, put a little bit of salt into the egg, whisk the egg. And add that to our filling. We'll whisk this all together. Enough of a nice filling for our eggplant rollatini. When this bakes up in this casserole dish, it's going to be absolutely beautiful and wonderful. I want to take some of our marinara sauce that we made the other day, and I want to get a bunch of it into the bottom of this casserole dish. That's going to line the bottom and keep the eggplant from burning. Now, what you can do is you can take your eggplant, and hopefully it's going to sit perfectly flat on top of this without falling over. Oh, look, it does. And take one eggplant at a time. It's cool enough to handle now. And put a spoonful of your filling. Remember, you gotta keep enough for all of them. And just begin to roll. Simple roll. That's all you need. Right there in the bottom of the pan. It doesn't have to be too fancy. You can just do almost a fold. We're going to keep this here to clean our hands. There is egg in that, so remember to wash your hands. We'll do some more for this one. And we're just kind of eyeballing how much we have for as many as we need to do. Put that one in there. Space it out a little bit. And there you have it. That's enough that's going to fit. Alright, now that we've got our eggplant rollatini in the casserole dish, we're going to just drape a little bit of sauce. I don't like a lot of sauce on my eggplant rollatini, because I want to see it crisp up. And I want to see all the different ingredients. And I don't use a lot of cheese either. We're going to put a little bit of cheese to drape over to that. Drape over each piece. A lot of times you'll get a dish out, dining out, and it will just be covered in cheese, and you don't see the actual ingredients themselves. A little bit of this Italian seasoning on top. Everything's about presentation. And if you present your dish in a way that it's your artist's tapestry, I'm going to use this leftover little piece here. Grate some of that. What's going to happen now is that when this goes into the oven, it's at 400 degrees. We're going to let this sit in there for about 30 minutes. Get off the edge.
I left out the eggplant in this Giambotta because we already have Rollatini. Friends of ours in Bergen County, New Jersey, they make their Giambotta just like us. They like to have it more au sec, with a just light glazing of the chicken gravy. The potatoes a little bit more crispy and tender. And Mikey Scietta and Larry D'Angelo, I want to put a shout out to you.
We're going to get our sausage cooking. This is Sindoni sausage. We don't want to break it up too much. But we're going to let our sausage cook for our chicken and sausage giambotta. Nicely. Keep moving that around and turning it over. We want crumbles. We don't want minced meat. We want crumbles. We want each person to have a nice little piece of the sausage with the giambotta. So what's going to go in here is we're going to julienne up some red and green pepper, some julienne onion, or I may just use what we already diced and sauteed. We'll see how it looks, but I think some pepper strips would look great in here. You can do it either with diced or sliced strips. We're going to use strips because when we put the potatoes, when we refry the potatoes and toss this all together, this is going to be absolutely delicious. Sausage off and out of the pan. Nope, not on the floor. The reason why we want to do that is because if you're cooking in a restaurant, you would have to multitask, right? Alright, so at this point, what you want to do is you want to get your chicken over to here for your giambotta, and we're going to slice that into pieces. Take a little trusty knife and slice the chicken. So there we have, after 30 minutes on the back here, we have our eggplant rollatini. Alright, so we have our sauce here for our Saltimbocca. We just squeezed some lemon in there. We got the butter, more white wine. We put the rest of the chicken stock in here. We have our plate. Everything's hot already over there, ready to go. You can see this beautiful sauce. Put some more chiffonata basil in there. Got a little garlic clove.
And there you have it. Eggplant rollatini, chicken saltimbocca, our ravioli that we made the other day, our fresh homemade pesto sauce, our fresh made pasta and broccoli rabe, and our Italian meatballs, what's left of them, and our chicken giambotta, chicken and sausage giambotta with sweet bell peppers and julienne onion sauteed with these blushing belle potatoes and banana peppers tossed in a wonderful chicken glaze sauce. And it looks like it's time to eat. We got a little bit of everything on the plate. Ciao, mangia mangia.